2024 has been a thrilling year for Nigeria's sports sector as sportsmen and women showcased their skills and determination across various disciplines, both locally and on the global stage. Despite the challenges, Nigerian athletes made headlines through their performances, reflecting collective and individual achievements. TV360's Sydney Okafor spotlights significant events that shaped Nigeria's sports sector in the last 1 year.
2024 was full of ups and downs for Nigerian sport. It was a year of dash expectation in some areas and fulfillment in others. Let's start off with the African Cup of Nations held in Ivory Coast. Despite being tagged one of the favorites, Nigerian senior men's football team, the Super Eagles, fell short of claiming their fourth AFCON title, succumbing into a relentless Ivory Coast in a frustrating final at the Ibembe Olympic Stadium. Ivory Coast's 2-1 victory over Nigeria made it the first host nation to win AFCON since 2006. The loss was, however, a tough blow for Nigeria.
First thing that we need to acknowledge and accept is that Nigeria came second at this last Nations Cup. They got to a final. You know, Chus Ekong was the player of the tournament. Ademola Lookman scored 3 or 4 goals. Can't remember. It was one of the highest goal scorers. The team played well, but they just lost the final. They scored first, tried to defend it against the home team, and it didn't quite work out, and they lost. They lost narrowly. My personal view, because we all have our view of the team, but my personal view is that our defense is not such a solid foundation for the team to build on. I think Nigeria has some good attackers, but when we watch the Super Eagles play, you hardly see the strikers getting in one-on-one, getting the service from the back and being able to attack fluently. They all seem to be defending so much, which is not what we're used to in Nigeria.
When Osipasero took us to the final, the target he was given was at least the semi-final. But it surpassed the target. But if you now look at the way Osipasero was managing the team, he was too rigid with the team. He wasn't flexible at all. And when I mean flexibility is about bringing in other players. I mean, because if you look at the whole squad, there was no particular player that Osipasero brought in on his own. We had that team. From the Genotroy lineup, we had that team. So Osipasero just came in and was just supposed to plug and play. So in terms of development under Osipasero, I would say we did not develop.
Off the field, the Super Eagles also had to deal with some sort of leadership crisis. Shortly after succeeding Osipasero as coach of the national team, Finidi George suddenly resigned in June, citing a lack of support from the Nigerian Football Federation. During his brief tenure, Finidi oversaw a 2-2 draw against South Africa and a 1-2 defeat to Benin Republic. Austin Eguavoen would later be appointed as interim coach after negotiations with German tactician Bruno Labbadia failed. The management saga also created a rift between striker Victor Osimhen and Finidi, generating widespread debate among football fans.
It wasn't even about Finidi George not doing his job, but it was more about the players not giving him that deserved respect as their coach. So the NFF also saw some little bit of that, and they decided to terminate his contract. And if I were Finidi George as well, I would have walked away, because the way the football, the way the coaching job is, there's no way you can sustain or be successful as a coach without the support of the players. So if your players don't want to play for you as a manager, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't single-handedly get your results. So you have to bank on the players to get that job done for you.
Many sporting fans had looked forward to a Paris Olympics, hoping the country would put its best performance since it had started participating in the global sporting event. But it turned out to be the country's performance ever at the Olympics. Despite taking the highest contingent to the games, Nigeria failed to win a single medal at the global showpiece.
I was really disappointed at last Olympics. We couldn't even get a medal. Half medal we couldn't get at the Olympics, which is quite surprising. And you get all of in fact, you don't want to know how much this Olympic athletes got compared to what the para athletes got. So I think it boils down, it's a lot of factors involved, but it really boils down to majorly the federations, different sporting federations. Badminton also, I must give them kudos because this Olympics, they produced an athlete, which is Opeyemi Anoluwapo. He's still the African champion in badminton, and he was the only athlete that was able to qualify for the Olympics. We've not had an athlete represent us in badminton for a long while in Nigeria. So even getting that qualification to get for the Olympics was really something.
One of the biggest problems with the able-bodied athletes, which I'm sure may soon start affecting our Paralympic athletes as well, if we're not careful, is that other countries are coming to Nigeria and taking the talented ones away and having them represent them. And some of those talents are going on to win medals in the Olympics. You didn't mention that, but that happens.
But Nigeria's women's basketball team, the Tigress, etched its names in the history during the Paris 2024 Olympics by reaching the quarterfinals for the very first time.
If we want to better that feat, we need to invest more in the home game, in the league here, to find talent younger. Men's basketball, same thing. We can't just keep relying on diaspora players who didn't quite make it into the UST to invite them and then just hope that they can come and dominate Africa and do well in the world. There's talent in Nigeria, just not discovered and not properly trained. So the NBBF has a lot of work to do in terms of finding the funding, finding the scouting expertise to find them, and then for us to have coaching programs to develop the coaches, coach them properly when we find. I don't even think we should only be looking at the next Olympics. We should be looking at the Olympics after that.
As citizens expressed dissatisfaction over Team Nigeria's poor outing at the Paris 2024 Olympics, the Paralympic team delivered extraordinary performance, securing a remarkable 7 medals comprising 2 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze.
If we are comparing what the Olympic athletes did with what our para athletes did, there are 2 different things. And that's why I will always heap praises on the para athletes, because in fact, they don't get the much attention, the treatment, the financial support like the Olympic athlete does. In fact, if you go to where the para athletes train at the stadium, you would weep for them. And you would imagine these are medalists at the Olympics. Their training facilities is nothing to write home about. But year in, year out, at every Olympics they go, they will always still give our result. They will always still give us medals.
Another notable issue in 2024 is what is now known as the Nigerian and Libya. The Super Eagles were subjected to a 20-hour nightmarish experience between Sunday, October 13 and Monday, October 14, when the national team arrived in North African country for the 2025 African Group D qualifying future scheduled for October 15. Nigeria's Football Federation swiftly filed a complaint to the Confederation of African Football (CAF) on the botched match and its verdict. The Super Eagles were awarded 3 goals, 3 points, while Libya was fined $50,000.
The Cup of Home of African Nations, the CHAN, that is taking place at the moment, about 5 or 6 North African countries pulled out of it, and it's possible that Libya is trying to rally some of these North African countries on some sort of bias against them. I think they are turning it into some kind of bias, and they are alleging that Nigeria may be some kind of influence in CAF. But clearly, maybe they are too close to the situation to see it objectively. They have no right whatsoever to affect the landing or to affect a pilot from landing at a designated airport. No matter what kind of treatment they believe that they had, their behavior was very reckless. Libyans acted very recklessly, and they risked the lives of the entire Nigerian contingent.
In the world of boxing, Nigerian-British heavyweight boxer Anthony Joshua was defeated by Daniel Dubois in a spectacular 5th-round knockout win. The clash, held before a record-breaking crowd of 96,000, saw the unpredictability that comes with the sport of boxing.
He's a great heavyweight. He has left his name in history for sure. But people close to him need to really dig deep and find out whether he really wants to continue boxing, because he doesn't have to continue if he feels that his hunger for boxing isn't there anymore. He has been very successful outside the ring. He's probably one of the richest boxers in terms of endorsements. So I don't know whether he still has that hunger or still feels he has something to prove. But if he feels, if the truth is that he still wants to fight on and he still feels able, then he needs to do a lot of soul searching in 2025.
The highlight of the year for Nigerian sporting world was the conferment of African Player of the Year on Super Eagles forwarder Ademola Lookman at the 2024 CAF Awards in Marrakech, Morocco. This prestigious accolade not only underscored Lookman's exceptional performance, but also made him the 7th Nigerian to achieve this honor after Victor Osimhen. Super Falcons goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie was also crowned best goalkeeper in the women's category.
Nobody could deny all what Ademola Lookman has done, not just for himself, even for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. This is what we call club and country consistency. Sometimes it's always the argument that, oh, are they going to use the club to determine? Are they going to use the national team to determine? But whatever side you use to determine Ademola Lookman in the past season for Atalanta, in the past season for the Super Eagles, what he did in Côte d'Ivoire, and what he has done for Atalanta, giving them the Europa Cup, is something to say that nobody come so close. So we all saw it coming, and it could have been a daylight robbery if it wasn't given to Ademola Lookman. And it also means that Nigeria has become the nation with the most award for the Best Player of the Year award being given by CAF.
In his congratulatory message, President Bola Tinubu underscored the broader significance of these wins for Nigeria's global image, describing the athletes as worthy ambassadors.
As the year draws to an end, sport enthusiasts nurse hopes of improvement in the sector and better performance from athletes in 2025. Sydney Okafor, TV360, Lagos.